this was yesterday. It was absolutely brutal, and no one was safe. There's not one single green on this chart right here. This all started really with Japan, and Japan is still leading it. Japan's market closed in a negative 4%. That's not good at all. Basically, a lot of speculation why we sold off yesterday. I believe it's really due to one cause. It's due to Japan. And a lot of people also seem to think that this has more legs in terms of this carry trade issue that may be ongoing. Yesterday, their governor, the Bank of Japan governor, said that they will continue to lift rates. And that is what really spooked the market. So this is the effect Japan has now, not in a good way, but man, for far too long, they had their rates at negative interest rates. Basically, you got paid for borrowing money, okay? And all these rich and greedy Wall Street types and others from around the world, what did they do? They borrowed billions upon billions, and they used it to buy other assets around the world. But now that the yen is getting stronger against the USD, and there's going to be an interest rate in terms of what was borrowed, now those people are selling off. They're dumping. They're selling everything because they don't want to lose money so that they can repay back their loans, right? That's what this carry trade is about and could get much worse. This is why you're seeing such weakness, especially with risk-on assets like tech and crypto. That's what's happening right now. And it just sucks. Again, I made this point last night. It's really about greed of Wall Street. The last catastrophe, financial collapse that we had was due to the same thing. Greed, ultra greed of banks and bankers and Wall Street. That's what led to almost the financial destruction back in 2008. And this is one of those times too. Again, just greed. People trying to figure out how to take advantage of the system and not realizing the consequences of it. So this is kind of like that. But besides Japan and this carry trade problem, September is considered the worst month for stocks. We know that historically speaking, September is the worst month for Bitcoin too, but it's also the worst month for stocks. So this, I think, has some part to play in what has happened, right? Will things continue? Will we see more selling off this month? I don't know. We could possibly see something like that this year, or maybe not. Maybe we're going to get saved by that FOMC meeting coming up in a couple weeks, and we get a tremendous rate cut. Okay, let's take a look at a percentage. Last night, it was up to 41%. It is still holding there. 41% for a 50 basis point cut, 59% for a 25. We're going to get a cut. It's just a matter of how much. 41% is nearing that 50%. If the markets continue to dump, then this percentage is going to start going up in a big way. And plus, we got economic data to look forward to, especially on Friday with unemployment and jobs report, right? So this could all be a ploy also, some are speculating, to give Powell ammunition to that 50 basis point cut right before, a couple months before our big presidential election, right, coming up. So I'm not sold yet. It may be silly to say now, but we're only in the first week of September. I'm not sold that this is predestined that U.S. markets and Bitcoin and crypto markets have to end in negative. Okay, we haven't had a rate cut in how many years? 4 years. So things could turn around. But this carry trade thing continues to drag down markets right now. As for ETFs, yesterday was absolutely brutal. 800 and no, if it was an 800 outflow day, that would be the end. No, 287 million outflow, largest in 4 months. But here's the thing. With all the outflows you see here, right? BlackRock at 0. Larry Fink, he's trying his hardest, even though he had a second outflow day last week. Even with yesterday's horrendous selling from all funds, including Fidelity alone selling 162 million, BlackRock had 0. Larry Fink is putting his foot down and saying, no, while others are selling, we will be buying. That's just, or at least we're not selling if not buying, right? So that is actually pretty impressive if you think about it. Every single other fund sold except BlackRock's. They already have over 20 billion. They don't want to lose any of that. The third largest holder in history already. Quite impressive. Again, especially considering how much fear there is. Crypto Fear and Greed Index is 27. I don't even know. They have one for stocks too. I bet the stocks is really low. And they also have VIX, which is a good measurement of volatility. I bet VIX is really high. But ultimately right now, there are just a lot of people that are fearing about what's to come. What's to come for this month? What's to come for the remainder of this year? Are we going to have a recovery? Are we going to see Bitcoin come back up? Are we going to break through our previous high? Are we going to hit 6 figures? Those are the $1 million questions. And I believe the answer to all of them is yes, 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 and yes. I don't know if I asked 4 questions. But here we go. Howard here, who's the CEO and chairman of, Cantor Fitzgerald LP, which is a huge investment bank. He has just put this out, and basically he is bullish on Bitcoin. Like so many other leaders of Wall Street, they are all now recognizing that Bitcoin is an asset to hold, an asset that will dominate the future, especially with TradeFi. And that is why you need to load up on Bitcoin. He starts out by saying, if you want to know the performance in the next 5 years for Bitcoin, just look at the past 5 years. It's really quite simple. That's just how simple it is. Short term, day to day, week to week, maybe even year to year. We have seen year to year, 2022, 2023 have been bad, right? But long term, you look at 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. Nothing has outperformed Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you something at the end of this, right? That's just how it is. That's why you want to be in Bitcoin long term. Short term, it's frustrating. Sometimes it is very frustrating, but that's the price of emissions for Bitcoin and crypto. That's just how it is.